Oh, is the event still going on? Wait, what is today anyway? 14th. So I guess I got about, what, 30 minutes or something? Well, that's perfect. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is not Mario RPG exactly, but Tetris did... The boys at Nintendo came up with Tetris 99 and had a Mario RPG aesthetic to it, so I figured what better way to kill time in the meanwhile than to play this game with the theme. As you probably already saw, I already earned enough points to acquire the theme, so I'm sorry to say I didn't have the time or patience to do it, you know, in front of everybody. However, I have a very, well, I guess it's not a really good reason, I suppose, but it's a reason nonetheless. See, I've had a lot of things happen to me in particular in between, you know, the time I made that disclaimer video and this one here. I had a bit of an accident at my work. I'm okay, you know, but suffice to say I wasn't exactly thrilled that it happened. Oh wow, this one's... Okay, here we go. Okay, that one ended in failure. So, the thing is, I tripped and fell over a pallet in the back room, and suffice to say, I wasn't too thrilled about it. And although I did not wake up, you know, feeling like crud the following night, I still got plenty upset about the whole thing. Now the good news is it's still the holidays, so I don't think I have anything to worry about, but we'll see. I mean, I've been at my job for 8 years, so win or lose, I mean, I got no regrets, but still. I got a few other things going on in my life around the homestead that, as much as I would love to tell you all, that would be kind of, well, telling, and so I'd rather keep it to myself for the time being. The other reason I didn't start recording this during, you know, showing you that I'm earning the event was that apparently this game had already leaked online. I mean, I didn't actually watch the videos with the sound on, but I mean, granted, this game is... The remake is probably a one-for-one with a few nuanced touch-ups, I mean, aside from the graphics, so I didn't really want to... I guess it's not really a spoiler. I don't know, this is kind of hard to explain, but... I mean, I'd like to think that, you know... I mean, I know it was kind of foolish of me in the first video of this playlist, in the disclaimer, to try to claim dibs, telling the rest of you who are monetized, or to suggest that you guys wait until, like, December 1st before uploading anything. I mean, I know that was kind of foolish, and that's kind of why I said that it was more of a suggestion, but, you know, at least I was courteous enough to ask, right? But then here comes some other guy who probably, like me, wanted to be the guy that did the thing, you know, and be famous or something, or well-known. And they just straight up uploaded the video. And funny thing is, I don't think Nintendo really took it down, because, well, I mean, I don't know, I guess when it comes to remakes, they don't really care too much about intellectual properties, maybe? I mean, I would think they would, you know. It's probably one of those things where, you know, if the video isn't taken down yet, it will eventually, but I don't know. I mean, interesting fact, I mean, this is kind of the reason why Smash Bros. Ultimate didn't have any anywhere near as robust of a story as you would probably think it to be, you know? Like they knew that the game was so popular that it was going to be leaked online, so they just said, forget it, you know? So, I mean, the funny thing is, about a year ago, you know, before I was serious about this YouTube thing, I probably would have just let this slide, you know? But, I don't know, I guess some things have to be said. I mean, I guess, suffice to say, I don't necessarily appreciate the fact that, you know, people leak this stuff online, you know? I mean, look, I want to be famous too, right? I want to be famous and eventually monetized, but, you know, at least I was courteous enough or respectful enough of copyright holders to go out of my way to basically say that if I had the option to do, and if eventually when I do become monetized, I'll make the conscious decision not to make money off of this playthrough, right? I mean, well, I don't know about this Tetris thing. I mean, I don't think you can really monetize Tetris too much, but still. You know, so I was at least courteous, right? But, you know, the leakers, I mean, they ruin it for everybody, including the monetized crowd, and I don't think the people out there, the famous YouTubers, really appreciate that. So, another reason I waited before making this video was that, you know, I wanted time to decompress from everything, you know, because otherwise this was going to be like some kind of massive rant video, and, well, I already ranted about Unity on one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel playthroughs, and suffice to say, that didn't really pan out too well. You know, I mean, it could just be that I'm not very well known as of yet, but so it goes, I guess. So anyway, I guess I'd like to take the opportunity to maybe once again attempt to maybe put out the request for the monetized crowd to, well, I wanted to say until December 1st before uploading a video, but, well, considering that leakers are kind of ruining it for everybody right now, I'd be willing to just say, you know, at least wait a week afterwards. Of course, that would also put us right at Thanksgiving, but, I mean, I don't know. You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. And anyway, and like I said before, this is just a request, you know? I mean, you don't want to honor the request, that's fine, that's cool, you know? I mean, you know, I'm just trying to say that if you're out there doing this, if a whole bunch of people are out there doing this video, no one person between everybody can stand out more than the other, you know? Basically, it's like an overflooding of the market, right? It's kind of like when everybody and their grandmother back in the day was making Pong consoles, P-O-N-G, you know, the paddle board game. Oh, wow, I got it. So, anyway, I guess that's all that has to be said about that. Now, in a more pleasant part of this video, I'd like to ask you guys, my subscribers or my audience, exactly how long do you want each episode of this playthrough to be? I mean, I tried to create a poll before, but I don't think anybody really knew me enough to catch wind of the poll on how long you'd like my videos to be. I mean, if this is going to be a recreation of, like, the original, I was thinking, like, maybe making the videos as long as you know, the time it takes for me to go from one save block to another, you know, or 30 minutes, whichever comes first, as far as the length of the video, because, you know, I don't want it to be, like, too much of a slog, right? Now, with the exception of, you know, the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom playthroughs, I mean, that was more of an epic adventure, you know, that was kind of like, that was almost kind of like a Game of Thrones, where each episode is 2 hours long, but it comes out every week. So, you weren't necessarily binge watching the whole time, I guess. I mean, I never actually saw Game of Thrones. Yeah, I know, shame on me, but, I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of gravitating towards 30 minutes, with the exception of a few, like, special episodes. So, other things I want to talk about the game. From the trailers, or the officially released trailers that I've seen about the remake, is that I think the inventory looks a little bit more simplified. Not necessarily bigger, but more simplified. And moreover, while the amount of items you can hold looks smaller, some of the items that you'll have multiple copies of do look like they'll stack, at least. So, mushrooms, syrups, those things will at least stack with each other so that it might be easier to find, because, those old-timey, inventory... Dang, I'm not doing so good. I guess it's hard to talk and play at the same time. Gotta say, though, the piano rendition of this theme here, nice touch. I mean, in the original game on the SNES, I believe that song only played like 3 times. So, kind of special. I don't know if that's going to be like a new Game Over theme too. I mean, would be fitting. Of course, I don't plan on game overing unless I'm tackling a super boss. Oh, by the way, there's been some speculation or factoids swirling around the internet that I almost don't want to mention, because then you'll probably look for it out of curiosity and spoil it for yourself. But I guess in addition to the old super boss, there's a new super boss supposedly out there somewhere. So, whether or not I'll actually do that for my playthrough or not, I don't know yet. I mean, part of me wants to just, like, do the base game for the crowd and do the extra stuff in my own time, but I don't know. I mean, whatever you guys want, I guess. I mean, or whatever I feel is necessary. I mean, right now I'm just kind of in a planning stage anyway, so... some other things I'm kind of hoping for. I noticed that there's actually a difficulty setting between, like, breezy and normal. I don't know how normal is or how breezy is. I mean, if normal is the difference between having freebies or not, I guess it's okay to not have freebies, right? Because at least then it would be, like, more in line with traditional RPGs, right? Because the original was kind of easy in that sense, Oh, you use an elixir. Oh, the item was duplicated. Congrats, Which, by traditional RPG standards, is already kind of game-breaking in itself, right? Maybe not by much, but... So, there is that. I'm also kind of hoping that, either during the game or post-game, maybe, that the elusive super suit, because nobody I know actually got 100 super jumps in the original. I sure as hell didn't get the super suit. Didn't know it existed, but, with the lazy shell out there, I mean, you didn't really need the super suit. All you really needed was to have the lazy shell on, Peach, I guess, and so... Also, I think maybe for the remake playthrough, I think I'll probably, like, change up the characters every now and then, instead of sticking with, like, a set formula. I mean, my formula in the original was always, Mario, Geno, and, Toadstool or Peach, I mean, Mallow would have been great, but, I didn't really know that there was... elemental weaknesses implemented in Mario RPG, so I never really knew that, you know, he was still viable in some cases, Mallow. Sorry, I'm kind of focusing. I mean, don't mistake my silence for forgetting to talk. I suppose we could talk about the possibility of where to find the super boss, but, you know, like, if you don't want to be... Well, see, here's the thing, like, the original game has already been done to death, to a point where there's, like, speedrunning, you know, modded communities and everything else, so I don't really know what I can really say without it being kind of a semi-spoiler anyway. I would say that if I was an extra special super boss, I think it would have to involve Star Hill, I think. Because, you know, if you really think about it, most, not all, but most of the wishes there, you can actually grant during your playthrough. I mean, you can get the Cricket Jam for Frogfucius, you can... I mean, I guess they might add something for Raz and Rini's marriage. You can help Yoshi with his, race against, you know, Boshi. As far as Luigi being a great plumber like his brother Mario, I mean, Mario can basically just say, you already are a great plumber, bro. And, you know, that's already fulfilled. So, yeah, I mean... And of course, you already helped Mallow find his way home. As far as Mallow not being a crybaby, I don't know. I mean, unless it involves how many battles you actually utilize him in past the point where you're able to switch party members. I mean that's another thing that seems easy to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hoping that the super suit or the 100 super jumps is going to be easier as far as timing. I mean, even for a normal setting. So, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Even if I don't get the super suit, I mean, maybe post-game they'll just add something like, oh, yeah, we were kind of hoping that you would earn this, but now it's just taking up space. Come to think of it, I don't even know what the cap on coins is going to be. If it's going to still be 999 or if they're going to do something special with it. Well, that's a shame. Uh, 20? Can't say I'm thrilled. I don't think I've ever once made it into the top... I think I made it top 10 once before in Tetris 99, but I don't remember off the top of my head, honestly. Yeah, so there's really not much I can really say about the remake. As far as refighting bosses, I don't know if you can refight them multiple times or if it's just like a one-time refight. I mean, or what the rewards are. I mean, from my understanding, normal enemies are also... Like, some normal enemies are going to be beefed up. And then there's, like, that other super enemy, the Shy Ranger or whatever, which, obscurely enough, you have to have the feather for Geno, I guess, in the original. And the reason Shy Ranger runs away is because, well, you know, he's fast otherwise. I don't know. Seemed like a running gag when Mario gravitated away. When Square and Nintendo had, I don't know. Everyone says it's a falling out, but when their partnership ended, you know, and Mario went all papery, you know, they always seem to include some kind of super shy guy in their games. That's a shame. I think what I'll probably do for the playthrough, though, is I might just keep it on the original, might just keep it on the new remix tracks, because again, I mean, we've already heard the original time and again, so no real reason to go out of our way, huh? Come to think of it, if I decide to refight the Culex boss fight, I'm not entirely sure if I can do that without issues. I mean, granted, I've already said that, you know, I don't wish to make that when the time comes for me to become monetized. I've already said that I do not wish to make money off this series. So, you know, I don't know if I don't know if they'll just take my word for it or not. I don't know. It could be one of those things where, like, no, you can't upload that. I mean, I don't know. Then again, I mean, we are talking about a remake of an over 20-year-old game, so I don't know. Kind of hard. Copyright is kind of hard. Kind of a tricky beast to deal with, I guess. I mean, that being said, I mean, well, to be fair, I mean, although I'll probably upload a lot of videos in one setting, I mean, I'll probably space them out by the day, so, I don't know. I don't think I can do it daily, but I think maybe once a week is good enough. I mean, I don't know. That just leaves which day or what time per week to decide. I mean, the game, I suppose I could do it on a school night, I guess, right? Like Monday nights or something. that's a shame. 3 people, huh? I wish I could see, like, other people. Like, you know, select one of these other people still in the game and observe them, I guess. View stats. Hide. I don't think there's any way to actually view someone's playthrough of this game. Tetris, I mean. You know, come to think of it, I thought there would be more Tetris 99 themes that would have been available for purchase if you had enough tickets, but I don't know. I guess some events were one-time exclusives, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I can't have that many people attacking me at once, so... No, that didn't last. Destroyed 5 people. Well, that's what they get when they. Well, that's what they get when they all try to gang up. I mean. Oh. Come to think of it, I don't know how they'll handle post-game. I mean, if you beat... Like, if... I mean, I get that if you beat... I mean, if you beat Smithy, do they just, like... Do you just start back at Mario's house and everybody acknowledges that you beat the game? Or... Like... Or does it take you to, like... Just before you beat the final boss? You know, after you beat the final boss? You know, like, well, like, an example would be like in, well, Capcom's Breath of Fire 3, you know, you know, not to spoil anything, but after you beat the final boss, you do get to save your file, and it does make note that you've cleared the game in that playthrough. But, you know, it's not like there's post-game content, though. I mean, it just basically, you know, puts you right back, you know, in one of the other villages in the game. So I don't know if it's a similar situation to that, or I don't know. Hard to say. Still kind of wondering about the super boss, the new super boss, I guess. If I had to venture a guess, I'd say it probably would involve maybe, and again, I did not watch I didn't watch any of the leaked videos, so I don't know for certain. But I don't know. I'm going to guess that maybe it has to do with like fireworks, you know. Like, if you buy enough fireworks and trade for enough shiny stones, one of the stones will probably be oddly different. You know, I don't know. Like in some iterations of Final Fantasy IV, you know, you get the dark matter after you clear the game, and then after you go back to the moon, you know, you basically stand in front of the face in the moon, which in other iterations is a super dungeon, but then you fight what's known as the Proto Babel, which is basically a scaled down version of the Giant of Babel. You know, come to think of it, you know, not that it would have any impact on that game, but if the Proto Babel is just a smaller version of the Giant of Babel, theoretically, if you were small enough to fit inside the Proto Babel's head, would you be able to take down the Proto Babel in a similar fashion instead of having to take on the Babel head on? I don't know. Like, I'm not saying like cast Mini on yourself and fight it. No, that'd be suicide. But you know, I mean, the whole plot of the Proto Babel of Final Fantasy IV was that, or the Giant of Babel in Final Fantasy IV was that basically, you know, Zemus was trying to gather like 4 crystals and 4 dark crystals, and you know, to reactivate this giant Tower of Babel, and within it was like some ancient tech mega weapon that was supposed to destroy the planet, but you know, even after the crystals were gathered, you know, it was stopped anyway, so I don't know, Final Fantasy IV, I mean, it's a great game, been remade a few times, actually. I actually do have Final Fantasy IV in the remaster here, but unfortunately, from my understanding, the remastered Final Fantasy IV for the Switch is basically just a bare bones version of Final Fantasy. Yes, it has improved graphics and such, maybe a few quality of life improvements, but there's no secret dungeon, there's no extra special bosses, none of that. So, I don't know. A bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed, but it is what it is. So, can't really fault anybody here. But yeah, you know, just fulfill all the wishes, take the, I don't know, they might even call it like onyx or an obsidian stone. You know, just go to Star Hill with the obsidian stone and find something amiss, and, you know, maybe the special boss is there, I don't know. Oh, fun fact, speaking of obscurities, the lazy shell, I'll probably mention this, you know, when the time comes, but the lazy shell items, like, I've had like 1 or 2 playthroughs of the first 2 or 3 playthroughs of the game not knowing where the fertilizer was, and I gotta say, it was the most obscure thing. it was the most obscure thing to find. The only reason I knew about how to get the fertilizer was, believe it or not, I happened to have read a chance paragraph in a random Nintendo Power magazine that actually outlined it. You know, upon reading it, you know, we just immediately... I mean, I remember it clearly, you know, my stepbrother was actually playing a different game on the SNES, and, you know, we basically just looked at one another and said, yeah, we gotta get this under our belts, you know. So immediately we stopped that game, popped RPG back in, and just got it. 'Cause, you know, that's just what you do. When you finally discover a secret, you know, you have to investigate it, you know. That's just what you do, you know. Also, I mean, even before the discovery of the Lazy Shell, I mean, the first couple of times I played against Culex, I mean, yes, I got my butt handed to me, but, see, I didn't think to go after the crystals. I didn't think the crystals were destructible, and I just focused all the attacks on Culex, right? And spoiler alert, if Culex goes down before his crystals will just vanish with him, because without him, the crystals just go inert, so... It's also the first time I discovered that in Mario RPG, or that is to say the SNES version, you know, all the bosses have a finite amount of, you know, flower points or magic. You know, I mean, they can run out of magic, so they don't just spam attacks, you know. Now, I don't know if that'll change for the remake. Like I said, this difficulty setting kind of makes me question exactly how each one is going to be done, right? I mean, will the normal, quote, normal difficulty still have, like, splash damage on multiple attacks, or freebies? I mean, like, how are these things going to be calculated, right? And if I do beat the game, you know, and I do get a post-game option, or like a New Game Plus, will it unlock, like, a harder difficulty setting, where, like, I don't know, like, things cost, where, like, you know, things might cost more coins or something, and there are no freebies. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the combat is still turn-based, but... I don't know. Everything's speculatory, and, you know, I do not wish to watch the leak videos to find out for myself. Again, a little disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed that there were people who just did that, you know. Well, I lasted as long as I could. Still only 28. Destroyed nobody. How am I doing on time? About 42 minutes now. I suppose I could play one more round and then I'm gonna have to call it here, but yeah, I'm thinking maybe the upload schedules should be like Mondays. I mean, I don't even know how many episodes, this playthrough is going to be. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the first video, the disclaimer video, and this video don't count towards the series, but it's still related, so... Suffice to say, with the remake, I mean, a lot of the flashing lights and the attacks are going to look way different, so, maybe I'll be able to block certain attacks better or something. Plus, there's also that new gauge mechanic for the triple strike, so, I don't know, maybe for the sake of nostalgia, maybe I'll sit through the tutorials, because, well, I mean, it's a remake and there's new things, so why wouldn't I, Speaking of RPGs, I played Mario and Luigi Dream Team back during the year of Luigi. I gotta say, I mean, like, Dream Team made you sit through a whole bunch of filler, right? And for the life of me, you couldn't, like, Mario and Luigi didn't have a dash button to run places, so you literally had to walk everywhere. Either that or there was a dash button, but it was obscure, so, I don't know. Phooey on me, I guess, but I don't know. It's a shame Alpha Dream bit the dust. Come to think of it, I wonder if Alpha Dream is still getting royalties for having the first Mario and Luigi game on the Switch online service. Well, was that developed? Was that developed by New Alpha Dream? I don't know. There's a lot of games that I've played that the original developers have gone defunct, and the games are, not going to be further improved. Like, there's this game that came out for the Switch, made by a group called Defiant Development, called Hand of Fate 2. Makers of the original Hand of Fate. I don't know what happened to those guys. I mean, they split since before the pandemic, but, like, I don't know. I have an idea that the reason they split up is because of creative differences. And, I mean, the thing is, I mean, Hand of Fate and Hand of Fate 2 were very popular, but I think they tried to cash in on that popularity by making, like, a Dungeons & Dragons-esque physical board game set in that universe. Yeah, kind of a weird maneuver to... It just goes to show that, when you try to take a game that was originally a video game and try to convert it into a board game that does not involve such things, it doesn't really pan out well. I mean, I'm sure they've had a lot of people on the team say that, and, maybe that's why they split or something. I don't know. I'd go to Matt McMuscles and, go to his Patreon and maybe suggest asking him what happened, for his show, What Happened. But, I can't afford that kind of money, I'm not famous enough in my own right to afford that money, finding out what happened there, so... But yeah, I mean, Hand of Fate 2, real great game. I mean, I should consider playing it again. Right now, it's in what they call caretaker mode. I don't know. Well, even then, like, on the PC version of Hand of Fate 2, you know, it seemed like they were more interested in, like, the developers were more interested in, you know, hijacking people's playthroughs, you know? And, you know, seeing if they could help players or hinder them in some ways. I mean, I don't know the whole Twitch I do not know anything about Twitch integration, you know? Again, not famous enough in my own right to consider Twitch, but still, kind of interesting now I think about it. Dang. Alright, well, that's that anyway. Here, let's not end this on that song. Oh, the event is over. Come to think of it, yeah, I stopped earning points, didn't I? Huh. Alright, well, ooh, a team battle. That'd be interesting. Alright, but anyway, as I promised, I'm gonna have to end this video here. Anyway, thank you for watching this, semi-related game involving Mario RPG or its remake, so... yeah, oh, by the way, something I have to point out, and I probably won't get the opportunity to tell you otherwise. If you're wondering why I haven't done the Splatfest videos of late, for one thing, the numbers just weren't, the views on those videos just weren't cutting it, in my opinion, so I think for the time being, I'll just not post videos of Splatfests. In case anyone's wondering, I've picked Team Fist Bump because, well, for one thing, that's what some of the characters in that's what some of the players do in Splatoon 3 and Victory animations. Fist Bump was the name of a song in Sonic Forces, whether you love or hate that game. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, I'll see you in Mario RPG lands, I guess. Until then, catch you later. Oh, and please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And, you know, each like, comment, and subscribe is another step towards helping me out, so I would greatly appreciate it. And besides, it's free, so you don't have any reason not to. So until then, see you later.